here cutting grass. Yeah, my grass is so tall. Look at it. It's like tall. The grass is real tall. So I had to cut it. So I had to end up cutting my yard because I have a big ass yard. My fucking yard is huge. So, and I had to, out here cutting grass before I decided it want to rain again because I know I ain't gonna be able to cut it no more this week. About going to travel and stuff like that back for the business and stuff. So yeah, so I'm out here cutting some grass and try to get this grass cut and cut around the yard and stuff. And then I have like some big old plants that I had planted. Remember I had talked about these plants one time before in a video that they grow real tall. Them plants is like almost up to by the window of the house. Is those plants is almost up there by the window. So I'm gonna have to take them down again because it's too much. I don't like a lot of stuff growing too tall around the house and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm just sitting here trying to get this grass and stuff cut, and so that way I can, have the rest of the evening and stuff like that to myself and the rest of the week to myself before to get back on the road. But when you have a home, it's a lot to do. You have so much work to do when you have a home. Inside and outside, trying to keep all this stuff done. And by me traveling a lot for the job and stuff like that and the business, it's like I just don't have the time to cut grass like every week or every 2 weeks like other people does. So when I get home, my grass is really tall. And then I seen a little black snake that come out the woods and stuff like that, don't shed its skin. So I say, I know it's time for me to cut the grass now, because when I start seeing animals, and I don't like black snakes, I don't kill so many of them black snakes around the house and everything else. I don't like that shit at all. And then I stopped the deers from coming because I had a bunch of deers. One time I had posted where my camera had picked up deers. And so I had like a bunch of deers and stuff like that too. Yeah, bunch of deers and stuff like that. I had a bunch of deers and everything like that. But yeah, my yard is huge. And so that's why I have to have my little zero turn lawnmower so that way I can cut my darn grass. But like I said, I had and then it's like on a hill. Then I also have like hey, hello. I'm sitting like on a hill too. So it's like, and then I gotta wash the side of the house and stuff like that. I only been here for 3 years, so this is my family land. So this is part of it. It's huge. And then my dad sits in the front of it. So he has the other part of it. And then I got like some family members and stuff like that is around me, and trying to keep up everything. Thank you, everybody. Keep your head up no matter what happened, okay? Thank you. Thank you so much for the encouraging words. Yeah, so I'm like trying to cut this grass here. But look, I'm trying to show you. You see that tall stuff right there? Them tall bushes and stuff? Those were some trees that have those little dandelions, like those little white things that you can blow with the wind. I didn't know that I planted so many of those darn things there, y'all. So it's like now it don't grow up all. I planted so many all around the front side of the house and on the other side where the shed and stuff is at. You see how tall this grass is? Look, it's tall. That's why I have to cut it when I get home from working and stuff, from off the road and stuff. I have to really cut the grass. Oh, the temperature here, it's like 80, 87 degrees. So it's not too hot. It's not too hot here with the temperature right now. But you can see the sky that it's trying to do something. The sky is trying to do something, but I'm just trying to hurry up and cut the grass so that way it doesn't rain on me. And I ain't be able to cut it because, like I said, it's real tall and I have a lot of yard to cut. I even got, a yard in the back of the house and also on the side. I also have, a lot of work that needs to be done too, cutting grass and stuff. And then after that, I have to trim up. And then where I had cut where the trees and stuff is at, that is leaning over in the yard. So then I have to turn around and cut, go and take the hedge clippers and trim down some limbs and stuff like that so it doesn't scratch my car, and the tracking trailer that we drive also, with that. But yeah, this is my home here. That's my home and everything like that. And and this is like my family land that I was talking about on a video. This is like land that was given to me. I won't. Thank you. I won't quit. Thank you. Thank you, April. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of work. It's, I still, when I get home, the house be so dusty because I'm not here all the time. And so my dad and stuff like that, they be looking out for the house and everything else like that. But I also have a gate up too where nobody can come down the driveway and stuff like that anyway. But, it's just that when I get home, I don't have time to rest because I'm always cleaning, either I'm cleaning the bathrooms or vacuuming or out here cutting grass, getting the grass and stuff cut. I have like a little flower bed that I try to keep up. So I have to go now and weed out all that stuff, So it's always taking me like a half of the day, pretty much. By the time I get back in the house, it's late. When I get back in the house then with that. And I try to do it because I know like those wasps and bees they like to dig a hole in the ground and have a nest. Like one of my trees that I planted by the house, by the front door, there were some like a wasp nest, and it had built a nest inside of the tree. So I had to knock that down because I didn't want to come outside and get stung by a wasp and stuff like that. And then too, I don't like I said, I don't like snakes and stuff. The deers, I have finally ran them away by shooting my gun a couple of times. I always shoot my gun and stuff like that back here just to shoot it for, because I don't go to a gun range. So I'll just shoot my gun a couple of times back here and different things like that just to clear the barrel. Make sure that it doesn't get stuck or anything like that. But I do, a lot of trimming up and keeping it up, keeping the yard and stuff like that up when I do get home, to keep it looking nice and stuff, and then keep them snakes away, because since I live by the woods, there's a lot of snakes that comes out the woods and stuff, especially when the grass is tall. And by me coming outside and fooling with the yard and stuff like that, and weeding out the plants and stuff and the weeds, sometimes that, I never know what could be lurking, hiding. So that's why I always try to keep stuff clean. But I know one thing, I don't like those bushes that has grew up. Well, it's not really bushes, like them little plants. It's called some type of lily type plant that is growing. But they grow like they have those dandelions. How those little things that is like a little white thing that you can blow. I know I don't know what the name of it, but y'all might know. But you can blow it, and then next thing you know, it blows with the wind. And so that's what's growing up. And I didn't even know that that's what it was. I thought it was like tulips and like pretty little flowers and stuff, and and it wasn't. But I just wanted to let you see. what I'm doing when I'm not on the road driving tracking trailers, and for our business and stuff like that. So this is what I be doing. Like I said, I be minding my own business, not bothering nobody. And like I said, people always coming back here, messing with stuff on the property. Just like my little lights around my house, I have to keep putting those back because somebody keeps pulling it down. And then, for that month that when I was home, my lights was fine. That wasn't pulled down or anything. So now I have to pull that down. And with that, so I got to go and fix that back up and everything else. So it's always something. And that's why I get on here and talk about stuff, because it's always something that somebody is trying to do. Like I said, I used to have a neighbor used to come back here on the property, with his dog, and let his dog shit up in my yard. Instead of letting him shit up in his yard, he bring them back there and let them run. And then I see sticks, like little sticks and stuff. The reason why I coughing because I don't I'm allergic to grass. So that's the reason why. Yeah, so I'm allergic to grass, even though I have to cut the grass, but I'm allergic to it. And my eyes be watery and everything. I have allergies to grass and like different seasonal allergies and stuff. So every time I cut the grass, it's like that. I get the coughing when I cutting the grass. My eyes is watery, and I have to sit there and get a tissue and all that stuff to keep with me and stuff like that to keep. But I always had allergies towards. That's why I don't be outside a lot. I do not be outside because of my allergies and stuff to grass and pollen and trees and different things like that. So I had it all my life with that. And sometimes it flares up my asthma sometimes, but not all the time. But yeah, but I don't have no other choice but to cut. And I forgot to wear my mask. I supposed to have wore my mask, and I forgot to put it on because I was too busy trying to get this grass cut before it rained on here. Mr. Muffin, who that? What the hell you talking about, Mr. Muffin? That just nonsense. That is just, I'm just going to ignore that little comment that you said. That is just nonsense to me. Very nonsense. Anyway, ignore crazy people that's, coming to your live chat. That just crazy. I ignore them. But okay, y'all. So look at this. Look at the sky. So it look like it's about to do something. So I'm going to get off now. Yeah, this is my little hat and everything. I forgot to put my little mask on too. But I got my little gloves on because of the handle of my zero turn, the handle, and it makes it make callus come on your hand. So that's why I will have these gloves and stuff on like that. But I'm almost finished cutting. I almost finished. After I finish cutting this, the big part of the yard and stuff, then I take the little rod and take my little lawnmower, then the push mower, and then trim up around and take the weed eater. And then after that, I think I'm gonna be done for today. But then later on, I might come out here later on, either tomorrow, and maybe clear some of those plants and stuff like that that's overgrowing that I'm not really like. Yeah, so yeah, so that's the way with that. But I see you again next time. This is Grace. Stay tuned for more videos.